My name is Scott Hill. I work at fire station number 15 on A shift. Today we're going to talk about the use of the fire service features in elevators during a working incident. You can refer to SOP 31.13, and also another good reference is Fire Department Operations with Modern Elevators. This copy can be found online, and it's a good book. I have a copy, and I think we have a station copy at number 15. This book details not only the use of elevators during structure fires, but it talks about elevator rescue, parts and features of elevators, and so forth. Okay, a couple of things that need to be done before you elect to use the elevators in the fire service feature. First of all, elevators that do not have the fire service feature will not be used during a working incident at all. Elevators that do have the fire service feature, before you take control of the elevators, one thing you need to do is check to find the closest stair shaft. That way, if you ride the elevator up to a floor that's involved in fire and you can't take the elevator away from that floor, you can exit the elevator and work your way to the closest stairwell. This particular building, the stairwells are at the far ends of the lobby wings. The elevators are in the center part of the building, so it's quite a hike to the stairwell from these elevators. However, this is a two-story building, so use of the elevators would probably be limited to removing patients and evacuating people anyway. If you do elect to use the elevators, a couple of things to keep in mind. First thing you need to do is, once you gain control of the elevators, you need to check the shaft to make sure there's no products of combustion in the stair shaft, in the elevator shaft. If there are products of combustion, then you cannot use the elevators, you must use the stairs. The other thing to remember is you must take the elevator to 2 floors below the suspected fire floor. So in the City Hall building, if the fire floor is the 6th floor, then the farthest you could take the elevator would be the 4th floor. With that in mind, we're going to activate the fire service features of these cars. The key for fire service feature is going to be dependent on the brand and model of elevators. So if you have a fire service key in your cab of your apparatus for a building in your first run area, and you go to another building, it may not necessarily work for those elevators due to manufacturer differences. The best guarantee is to make sure that the buildings with the elevators have the keys located in a key box or in the Knox box on the building, or you may find them in the elevator control room. This particular building, the keys are located in the key box next to the annunciator panel in the lobby. All right, with that in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to activate the fire service feature of these cars. Once you have access to the key, you come to the lobby. Of course, you determine where the closest stairwell is. You insert the key, turn it to the on position, and it will recall the elevators to the lobby. Once the elevators are recalled, the doors open and the elevators will stay at the floor until we deactivate the fire service feature. If you elect to use a car, you remove the key from the control, step into the car, and remember the first thing you want to do is shine a light up between the car and the elevator shaft opening, and if you see any products of combustion, then you do not use the elevators. Once we check that, there's no products of combustion, we can then enter the car. You locate the fire service feature key receiver in the car, insert the key. You can turn it to the on position at that point. Notice this car has directions located within the car. You may not necessarily have that in every particular elevator you go to, but this particular elevator does have directions. At this point in time, we've turned the fire service feature on and we've taken control of this car. The other car will remain in the lobby and it will not be usable unless someone has another key that they can insert in that car and activate that car. Alright, key is on. We push the call cancel button, which cancels any request for this car from an upper floor. And then what we're going to do is we're going to close the doors using the door close button. Now you have to keep control of this button until the doors are fully closed. If you take your finger off the button, the doors will reopen. So you hold the door close button, the doors close completely. Then you take your finger off the button and you can activate the button for the floor you wish to go to. In this particular instance, there's only 2 floors. We're going to go to floor 2. car moves to that floor. Once it gets to floor number 2, it's going to stop. The doors will not open until we push the door open button. And again, if you remove your finger from the button before the doors are completely open, the doors will close back. The reason for that is a safety feature. If you inadvertently went to the fire floor, the doors open, smoke and flames start entering the elevator, you take your finger off the button, they're going to close. It's also like a dead man feature. If you become incapacitated, your finger comes off the button, then the doors will close behind you. So you want to open the elevator doors. Of course, we would be masked up. Get down low on your knees. That way, in the event products of combustion do enter, you're not up at the heat zone. Doors open completely. Then you can take your finger off the button. Now the car will remain at this floor unless somebody else enters the elevator, follows the proper procedure to activate the car and takes the elevator down. If you wish to hold the car at this floor, you can turn the key to the hold position. At this point, you can also remove the key and take it with you. That way it's impossible for somebody else to take the elevator from you. Another option is just leave it in the on position. That way other firefighters evacuating people can bring them the elevator and take the car down. It would probably be a good idea in a working incident situation to have one person in the elevator controlling the elevator the whole time. That way you could have multiple teams bringing people to the elevator and moving the elevator down and up as the demand indicates. Okay, we're going to take the elevator back down to the first floor. So we hold the door close button. Push floor 1. Hold the door open button. The doors will open and they'll stay in the open position. Alright, to return service of the elevator back to normal operating conditions, you turn the key to the off position, remove the key, and then step back out into the lobby. Then start the key, turn it to the off position, and that restores the elevator operation to normal operating conditions. So to recap, a couple things to remember. Before you use the elevators, you want to find the closest stairwell. Once you gain control of the elevators, you want to inspect the shaft for products of combustion. If there are products of combustion, then you do not want to use the elevators. Always take the elevator to 2 floors below the fire. Never overload an elevator. You still have to follow the proper load rating of the elevator, and that's typically going to be indicated within the car on an elevator inspection sheet. And then don't forget to follow the proper steps using the fire service features. One thing to remember is that at some structures, like City Hall, follows this condition. In the event of a fire or smoke alarm, the elevators are going to automatically recall to the lobby floor, and the doors will be open when you enter the lobby. You can take control of the elevator just like we did here using the fire service feature, and the controls in the car operate the same as the ones as I just demonstrated for you. There's also an elevator control panel in the lobby at City Hall. If the initiating detector or alarm is on the first floor at City Hall, the elevators are going to recall to the second floor, not the first floor. So if you get an alarm at City Hall, it's a first floor alarm. The elevators are going to be non-usable, but they're going to be open on the second floor. That's all we had today on elevators. If anybody has any questions or concerns, you can give me a call at Station 15, and I'll try to answer your questions as best as I can.